Hello and welcome everybody. It has been a little while. I'm Stevie Harkins FB on Instagram. This is the Sesh, where we talk about real fingerboarding and fingerboard culture, and anything else that we want to talk about as fingerboarders. So today is a special episode. I always say that because all of the episodes are special. This show is special, and thanks to the fingerboard community, it's really like actually doing some benefit to people that want to learn more in fingerboarding. But like I said, today's episode is special because we are going to be talking to Brandon, I believe, from Onfo Fingerboards. They are a quickly up and coming company that has been really making a lot of noise recently. I actually am pretty good, like I would say, social media friends or online fingerboarding buddies with Fingerboard Koala personally, who is a writer for their team, and I can say that I know he can completely shred one of those boards to bits and pieces because they're such good quality, and he stays on them, and gets those long sessions in. So I'm super excited to get him on the phone and chat it up with him on the line. But I did want to talk about some stuff before we get started, like I usually do. Just give some shout outs to everybody that's doing something in the fingerboarding world today, and pretty much needs to be talked to about something. Like whether they got something going on or drop or release or new boards or new product, whatever it may be. I always like to do a quick rundown of it. But basically, I know a lot of companies have been having issues with PayPal. So when you're ordering product and you're looking for new stuff, make sure that the PayPal issues with on their side are totally okay, and they're totally open to taking orders right now. Because I know some companies are having issues with basically receiving the money and or just getting the orders processed. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Also, I know that Fingerboard Connoisseur had a lot of new Black Velvet shipments going out. A lot of, of course, he's got his decks on the website and stuff, but Black Velvet's been flying off the boards for him, so I'm really happy for him. I know Eminent Fingerboards has got decks coming out. I know he just did a release of like a stock, and I know he's got some good stuff coming out. So make sure you're keeping an eye on Eminent as well, because I know his boards are always quality, and he's been around for a while. So definitely check him out. Catfish Barbecue also, like I said last show, it was a couple weeks ago, but they still have like a strong stock of the wide boards out there at the third party websites, and I believe you can get them off their website as well right now. So if you're, or I think they have a drop coming up soon, yeah. So definitely wait for them. Check if you're looking for a Catfish Barbecue. I know the wide decks are out there, so get on the internet and look. I know like Fingerboard Store and everything like that probably has like a bunch of those wide ones left over, so check it out. Um, Other than that though, I'm trying to think of who else has a new product out other than just board companies. Blah 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 blah. I don't think anybody else is really like. I know stocks are kind of like fat right now. I know a lot of companies have like stocks on website, but no like anything like it's a lot of reprints and a lot of restocks and stuff like that. And I know Eminent said he's gonna restock his blanks and stuff like that. So that's dope. Alp. Oh yeah, Alp fingerboards. ALP fingerboards. They have their Tabasco sauce board coming out tomorrow. It's kind of like a Tabasco sauce looking graphic on there. So definitely check that one out if you like those like really like kind of like Flint style pastel, real like homemade type brands. Definitely give them a whirl because I know they got that same kind of feel to them, like in the sense of like the graphics and the pathing they choose for the graphics they want. Genuine Fingerboards, genuine underscore FB on Instagram. He just put up a stock of some very cool like artsy female based decks. And I think that's dope. Like they're all like old, like 1950s propaganda looking prints, and then like a crazy design behind them. So definitely check him out. I like the way those decks have. I actually have not ridden one of his boards before, but just all the designs he's been putting out, I've been kind of interested. I might actually personally grab one of those so I can get some words and some ideas on it. Deadwood Skate Company's got like granite ledges and like polished ledges. I know Faith Fingerboards always got some ledges out, putting out new stuff. So definitely check them out as well. But I know, like I said, not Go Hard. What the hell? Deadwood. They got new ledges coming out, polished ledges. If you're into that. And then of course Gohard's got some stock approaching soon as well. As if I'm gonna say his name, I might as well because I know he's got just probably gotta slap some lacquer on the decks he's got made, and then he'll be getting those shipped out. But anyways, I digress. That's like 10 minutes of shout outs and everybody doing big things. Let me last minute say what we got coming up with the Sesh. The Sesh itself, we have a bunch of big companies coming on, and I'm hoping the companies that I'm in talks with solidify some dates with me because I know for sure we're gonna have. I think we have Idol coming up. I think it's gonna be this week. If not this week, it'll be next week, and then we're gonna have Ben from ATX Ramps, and he'll be our first ramps guy that we'll have, and I think he's gonna be early next week. So in between then, though, I'm hoping to get some actual pro riders on the show, so we can talk more about riding, tricks, trick tips, and things like that, instead of just what goes into the fingerboard companies and history and things like that we usually talk about on the show. We might have a little more trick and style and like actual rider orientated episodes coming up. So stay tuned for that. What made you start this show? Just fucking fingerboarding with everybody on the internet and like how it's slowly coming back. I just started doing it again. I wanted to say earlier, like probably at the beginning of this semester, or not this semester, but this school year. And I don't know, the podcast has been doing better than most of the stuff that I've been doing with just the clips of fingerboarding I've been putting up. So I like to have the information out there, and I don't know, why not give me something to cast about. But today we're gonna give Onfo Fingerboards a call, and we're gonna get him in here, and we're gonna talk about a little bit of his brand and what's come from that, and all the things he's doing from his pretty much his designs and his colorways that he's got that are super poppy to his really talented sponsored team that he has, which incorporates a lot of good riders. So we'll get him on the phone and we'll start the interview. So let me go ahead and slide on over, give him a call. Make sure the audio levels are okay, so we're not blasting everybody away. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, Brennan?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's good, man. Thanks for coming on the show. And pretty quick, I'll be honest, I messaged him last night hoping that I can get him probably by late next week. He's like, nah, I'm free. I got time.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
It's
Spring
perfect,
break
man.
from college, so I'm chilling.
Yeah, mine doesn't start till next week, so I'm totally like just trying to get this done before mine. So I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
no, it's all good. But dude, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
Um,
This is super excited actually to come on to here.
dude,
So,
thank you so much. I'm like,
very cool.
people are starting to say that, and that makes me feel super happy. So like, I don't know, I feel like it's actually something beneficial. So that's
Yeah, no,
dope
it's a
that
cool
people are
thing in the
excited.
community.
Cool, thanks, man. And
Of course.
of course, the topic is what you've been doing for the community and all the boards you've been putting out. But I wanted to start with, of course, the origin of the company, where you're from and stuff like that, and then the meaning
Yeah,
of your
sure.
name. If you wanted to
Yeah.
go ahead and get into that.
Yeah, so basically, I'm stationed in Long Island, New York. Um,
All right.
I actually had a company before this one called Paradise Fingerboards, and that was just like a play off my name.
Okay.
My last name. But then that was like a really long time ago. I'm talking like 2012,
Okay.
and it went nowhere. And then it come around like 2017. I came and thought about making another company. So I chose Onfo, and that's basically the word comes from my mom and her brother or my uncle, and they used to use it as like a more like intense like word for swear. So
Okay.
basically, yeah. Like if it was like a really important matter and like someone was joking around and you were like onfo, they'd have to tell you the truth.
Oh man. Okay, so I
So
got
that's where
you.
it comes from. Yeah, so that's why like the molds are swear and promise.
Oh,
And
okay. So that's
yeah.
a little intermediate. I actually did not know that. I thought that was just something that you came up on your own or something to do with the Samson thing. But man,
Yeah,
that's totally like I did not expect that.
yeah. So
All right.
that's a pretty deep meaning.
And you
But
said you're stationed. Are you in the military?
no, I'm sorry, not station, but I'm just in Long
Yeah.
Island.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I was actually in Virginia for a while, but now I'm in Long Island.
All right. And then when you did Paradise, you said that was a long time ago. What were you making? Were you making boards still, or and did you have any like? Even though you said it didn't get too far, were there any moments where it was kind of growing or maybe possibly catching on?
So not at all. I was like really young when this first started. Like the boards I made are actually like 26 millimeters. That's how like long ago this was.
Yeah. No, that was a
Um,
minute ago.
yeah. So and I was like using a gator mold, and I wasn't involved. Like I don't think a single person even knew about it. Like, cause it never got out. I made like 3 boards, and I was like 12 years old, and it just never went anywhere. So that's
No
pretty
mass
much what
production or
happened there.
anything like
Yeah,
that.
no
Yeah.
mess. I made like 3 boards, like sanding them by hand, and I was like, this is too much work.
No, I
And
got you, especially at
I
that
just want to
age.
call it
Yeah.
quits. Yeah.
That's interesting though, like that everybody kind of has that first attempt when they're younger, and then they come back around full circle to give it a real whirl, and then that's when it usually sees some, some production.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like I still actually have like some of the boards. I posted them a little while ago, like a couple weeks back, I think. And it was just crazy seeing like the difference, like not
From now
only
to
in like
then.
not even like my own work, but just how boards are totally different now.
In general, yeah, no. Back in the day, I felt like it was like popsicle sticks, like in the sense of like
Yeah,
the feeling of what the boards felt like. But I guess it had to improve. It wasn't gonna unimprove. But
yeah,
all right, can I ask you this then? Moving on, the colorways that you choose, like I've noticed you kind of have like this pastel. Well, other than like I know you do. I wouldn't say blanks because I know you slap your logo on them, but you
yeah.
do have veneer decks and you do have like natural and kind of like wild cuts and stuff like that. But also
Mhm.
the decks that you do are always kind of like a solid pastel, kind of like almost like a fun colorway that I feel like a lot of people are kind of leaning towards in the more trendy fingerboarding area. And I
Yeah,
personally think that it's the colorways you match up are perfect, especially with the wheels that we've been getting a lot. And I know Odie just posted a dope green combo of a deck.
mhm.
But like what made you decide to stay kind of in that realm of like pastel colors?
I love the combination of like blue and pink and like all those pastel colors. I
Yeah,
just
that's
think
good.
they look just like so nice, and I just like they're bright. I feel like they bring like positive, more positive vibes and stuff like that, and I just like the way they look rather than like darker boards. I definitely think darker boards are cool, and like, they just have a different vibe that doesn't really go with what I'm trying for with the
Yeah.
company.
The aim of, yeah, I got you on that though. That makes sense
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of people, everybody kind of has their thing that they kind of focus on, and it kind of separates you if you have a certain look that you focus on instead of just kind of doing a little bit of everything, because then people know like, oh, if I get it like this, it'll be quality because this person makes this. So
Yeah,
I think like
exactly.
people know when they want like a nice colored deck with like fun combination colorways, people are like starting to like, now that like they notice who you are and like you gotten your followers a big time. It's like, wow, people are like, I want this deck to kind of match my D&D wheels or whatever they got that's super bright. And I kind of think
Yeah.
that's kind of opening up the door for more customization like most brands are doing. And it's funny how it's going like hand in hand with other companies and stuff like that. But were there any original supporters to Onfo that kind of helped you get farther than the original Paradise fingerboards?
So it's kind of a funny story. And so 2017. All right, well, like I guess some more backstory. I like have been fingerboarding forever, like honestly forever, and I'm a
Yeah.
huge collector.
Okay.
So I have a pretty like giant like collection that um no one really has seen. So around 2017, I was like kind of like I felt distant from the scene because almost like no one. I have not met a single person from Long Island who fingerboards, and I literally know no one on the island who fingerboards. So it can get definitely kind of
Yeah,
lonely.
I feel you on that.
S- So I was like, I wanted to connect to the scene somehow, and this was right around like Instagram was like really popping off at this time,
Okay.
and so I decided like I was gonna be one of those people who, like take pictures
Oh, okay. You're a
of their
film from the
stuff.
filmer thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I started just taking pictures, and I got up to like around 400 followers with that, and then finally I was like, I'm gonna try a company again. So I started out with that, and so I had that like 400 followers like right to begin with, which I think helped.
Oh, okay. That base plate with the collector
Yeah,
page transforming into an actual full company. Oh, that's kind of a...
yeah, and that was kind of a hard transition too. Um, but like I don't know. Recently, things have been picking up. When I first started, it wasn't picking up a lot. Uh, I definitely would do things a bit differently, knowing what I know now. But
Of
I'm
course,
pretty
yeah.
happy where
No,
it's
yeah,
went.
definitely. I feel the same way. Like especially like when I look at some of my first interviews and I hear some of the audio problems when I'm talking to Fingered Ben or somebody. I'm like, damn, if I could just redo this interview like one time,
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh, thank you God. But of course, that's kind of how the growth happens and it gets better. And then of course when you
yeah,
come out, because I will like even seeing like your company hasn't been out for like an incredibly long time, but seeing the growth from when I first followed your page and when I was just doing like I was just a writer posting random stuff, and then this came like the podcast came later. But seeing the amount of people that are using your decks and how like I don't know, it's just so like people are really vouching for your brand and things like that. I think that's really
Yeah.
like interesting, and I wanted to talk about this specifically because I know a lot of pro teams and a lot of companies like sponsor teams, but your team is actually really like niche talented. Can you talk
I
like about
love my
your
team.
guys? Because I ask everybody about the teams that they have, but I personally have talked to a couple of your guys, and even just seeing their daily like throwaway clips is just like bonkers.
Yeah, so I basically um I saw like kind of like the trend was picking up riders like a little bit back. So to like I guess stay more relevant, but I always just want like a bigger team to, do montages with and whatnot and just be able to post clips whenever and just have, guys to hang out with and because
Right.
like I said, no one on Long Island fingerboards. Um and yeah, I just sponsor guys who just shred really. Like I don't care about followers or anything like that. I just want like a good group of guys who, you know, or girls, whatever, who shred and are just good people overall.
Yeah, and I see the
Um,
growth come like grow. You guys are kind of like communally growing together, and I think that's
yeah,
kind of
like
like a base foundation to always have with your team. Go ahead.
I think that's cool because like as I'm growing, they're growing with me. Like I tell my team like all the time, like I'll help them any way that they, if they want to grow or they need a
Yeah.
shout out on something, I'll always do that for them. Um, but yeah, it's cool that we get to grow together, and it's like they're involved in the like a lot of processes too, like they test out products and stuff. So it's like a nice little family.
Yeah, that like your first group of friends that you have for
Yeah,
fingerboard. That's awesome. I
yeah,
think that's really cool to be able to like grow from just like a collector to being able to like actually expand on what it is that you're doing with your friends. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah. It's
find
dope.
people that you do it with. I like I said, I found people through this like internet thing too, just because like in Chicago it's not a bunch of people. There are companies out here,
Mm,
but we're also spread out. But
yeah,
I think that like your team in the mix when it comes to talent and actual like growth together, I think you probably have one of the best prospected teams out there. So like,
thank you,
congrats to you, man. Big ups. But I
thank you.
wanted to
Yeah,
ask you about Samson, the logo. Like, what
yeah.
with everything about him? Like, what is the idea behind him, and what animal is he? Like a koala or something? Like, what is he?
Okay, yeah. So we got. So I don't know. But before I don't know if you know, but before the direction that of the company now, there's a previous one to Onfo. There's like kind of like two stages, and we're in the second one now. So the
Okay.
first one this was like I said right around 2017. This was when like hand paintings were absolutely blowing up. Like Idol was doing all the hand paintings and stuff like that, and Collinswood was out. So I originally did that with my company, and I was doing hand painted like portrait boards,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're
So
still on my page. Yeah, so if you can actually see them
yeah, like the Rick
still
and
on my
Morty
page.
stuff and like the earlier. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then I was doing that for a while, and it was going well, but like I don't know, it didn't. I felt like I was more like a craftsman rather than a brand, if that makes any sense.
Hang on one
Um,
second. Can I hold you? Thank you so much,
yeah, sure.
CD Player, for the $10 donation to the stream itself. Keeping it going and making sure we always have new guys and things to get going on the show. So really
Hey,
appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. All right. Anyways, keep
shout
going.
out to that too.
Yeah, CD Player, you're the man.
Yeah, so it was pretty much. I felt more like like craftsman. I don't want to say craftsman because that sounds cocky or like
I
arrogant,
mean,
but
you are crafting.
it was more like I was doing these portraits and stuff, and it just wasn't really for me. So I did like a total rehaul of the brand, um, to the like where I'm at now, and I changed the logo up. And then I
Okay.
took like a step back, just looking at the community and like kind of seeing what was needed.
Right.
And I don't really think there's too many brands right now that are pushed like by their logo. The only one I'd say is like probably like Catfish Barbecue,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even then,
Yeah.
he doesn't have too much with his logo. So I basically wanted to be like the Blind or World Industries of
Oh,
uh
okay.
the fingerboard world. So set out, I got help to create Samson, and he's Samson the Sloth. He's a
Samson the
sloth.
Sloth.
I
Okay,
know he looks a
now
little
I know.
funny,
No,
but
I like the look of him.
yeah,
I like the.
yeah, I know he looks a little spazzy, but I think he's funny. Um, So yeah, that's just like the main focus right now, basically coming out with graphics with him on it, and then just the spray logo boards.
Okay, for sure. So like the branding of, I see like the Top Ply spray logo and like
Yeah,
the classic lettering, and then of course this going. No, you're a good CD player, but the branding of it, and I like that you're saying like openly like, yeah, we want to be known for the fact that of course you're gonna get a quality deck, but you're gonna get a crispy logo, a crispy logo that everybody's gonna know right
yeah,
away. And just branding yourself like that, people are gonna recognize that. So I think that's awesome that like you're letting it be known like, yeah, we're gonna be known for the fact that we make these quality like, these quality decks with quality graphics, because a lot of people are leaning towards just veneer wood, nowadays, and it's just, I think that's dope that you're sticking to the graphic idea.
yeah, definitely.
No, that's
And
awesome,
lower
man.
costs too.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not out here charging people highway robbery for boards. Hate
Yeah.
that.
At the end of the day, I think Finger Ben said it, but he said it's a hobby. You know what I mean? Like we're playing with a toy, so like chill, man. Like
Yeah,
what are you doing? But I
yeah,
guess at the end of the day, you can't blame them, especially the guys that have been doing it for a while that want to see what their market cap can be. But you're also got to realize your market is children and a few hobbyists. So I don't know what much you can make from that.
yeah, yeah. Totally, I understand it, and yeah, I definitely do get it. But like you said, there's a bunch of kids in the community, and like I feel definitely a lot of companies, take advantage of their impressionable minds, if you want to say,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
hyping things up, doing basically like
Clickbait.
crazy drops of
Yeah.
however many boards, whatever. I don't know. I think it's a little scummy at times, but
Yeah.
I try to just stay into my own stuff.
Stay in your own
You
pocket
know?
and handle your own quality product. That makes plenty of
Yeah.
sense, man. Can I ask you, when you started the company, I guess the second time, and you wanted to like rebrand yourself and really take yourself
hmm
more seriously as an actual board maker and printer and stuff like that? Is it just you? Do you have a team with you? And did you invest, or did you already have tools from like a prior thing that you do?
So yeah, it was just me, and yeah, I had to start completely from scratch. I had absolutely like my dad, he's a computer guy, so it wasn't even like I had any tools I could borrow or anything like
Yeah.
that. Completely from scratch, everything. Um, and yeah, it's just me, and it definitely does get hard because especially like being in college and whatnot, gets super busy and don't have too much time for stuff, but I can make it work.
Yeah, you gotta grind it out just to keep the hobby alive. I feel you.
Yeah.
I know right now when I took that little bit of a lull between interviews and everybody's like, when's the next one coming out? And I'm like, man, that's the reason why I put so many out in the first place, so you can enjoy those while I study. But no, I was
Yeah.
like, let me get back to it though, because I gotta keep the pace up. But no, I feel like when it's a labor of love like that, it's hard to stay away from it too though. I know when I was doing my last couple of interviews, I was like, man, I gotta study. But then when I was studying, I was like, man, I can't wait to get back to fingerboarding the interviews. So like,
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like people were like not seeing what more we could give. So I was like, I gotta get some more brands on here. But with not having any equipment, or like having that dad that has the tool shed or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
what was like the biggest expense, or I guess shock, to getting into making your own boards and going like, holy hell, I did not know this was gonna be even a factor.
Um, so when I first started, kind of ashamed to admit now, but it was a plastic mold. But that was like really a long time ago. That was
Right.
when I first started, and then so I started getting the NFB molds, the professional metal ones, and it's 250 you can actually see for one, and if you mess that one up, like that's $250 down the drain. Like if you have bad specs.
Yeah.
So I've now had like a total of like 5 molds,
Holy
just because
moly.
I wasn't satisfied with the shape.
Gotcha.
So that was definitely probably the biggest expense, and then also trying to get my own RealWare graphic technology, just like so much testing, and
Oh yeah, the whole real world
that was the
graphic. How
worst.
do you feel about that personally? I don't really ask companies personally about like
I
the.
hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like skateboarding, it makes sense because it's like a skateboard. It's eventually gonna wear. But I'm like when I first started, or when I first started fingerboarding, and I'm kind of an old guy too. But like, the point was to have a nice one. You know what I mean? Like to have a nice
Yeah,
clean board and like kind of ride that always, a clean setup. And now it's like,
yeah,
I want mine to look like shit. It's like I'm like, I don't
yeah.
get
I
it.
don't understand it at all. Like you like the graphic, but then you want to like go away,
Yeah, I
and
want it to
then you have to
not be
get it like.
seen.
I don't get it at all. I'd
Yeah.
honestly rather probably just do paper, but
No, and I
if
get like
people
there
want it,
is.
then I gotta supply it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really annoying, especially because like I'm not a huge fan of real wear. I don't really see the
Yeah.
point, but
Right. It just
it
makes
does
the
look cool
decks look
sometimes.
so much older, especially for resale. It's already terrible resale for fingerboarding. Like,
Oh yeah,
you're selling
I will
somebody a
never.
worn down deck now. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, I don't understand those people who pay like $200 for a worn down Woob or something like that. It's like the entire graphics completely ruined.
I feel like
Like I
collectors
hate
can
that.
get kind of confused about what it is they're actually collecting, but
Yeah,
whatever. It's not my business to see what you get the
yeah,
benefits out of fingerboarding, I guess.
yeah.
Can I ask you the drops that you got you've most recently done? How's been the response in the sense of like the community? Have you had any like really outbreaking drops that were like, man, people are really starting to dig the product, you know?
The last drop was probably the best. Yeah, I think it was definitely the best one.
Yeah.
I had I did a stock of 6 boards and 5 went out on the first day, so I was pretty happy with that. I mean, it's
Oh
not
man.
50 in one day, but you know, steady steps.
No, I was gonna say
Um,
demand is there. That's the whole first step is
yeah.
creating demand.
So I was really happy when those 5 sold on that first day. I think the graphics, the RealWare graphics that are coming in, are gonna be pretty big because I don't know. I just think there's just that gap where like there's no like Blind or World Industries or like any of those logo companies in the fingerboard world like really
Right.
backing their brand behind their logo.
Yeah, really pushing that whole one thing. Other than like you
Yeah,
said, other than Catfish, I don't know anyone else. Everybody kind of has like this elusive presence of their brand. Like this is what we are, but there's no legit logo. And I feel like
yeah,
branding yourself like that kind of makes you feel. I feel like every brand that has done that has been successful. You know what I mean? Like you got Joy Colt, like that does his branding on the wheel or whatever
mhm,
it may be, and it's just like once you make that step of like it's not shifty. Like this is what we're making. I feel like people trust the brand a little more, and I feel like that's a really smart and like people see that in your product, and that's why the demand increased.
yeah. I didn't want to just like do a bunch of like Marilyn Monroe remakes or like
Yeah,
Notorious B.I.G. graphics or something like that, like half the companies do.
yeah.
So I really wanted
The
like
graphic
something
direction,
different that would
yeah.
stand out. So I had to, that was another thing, like actually getting because like that the whole Samson is like completely created, so like it's hard getting all the sketches and
Yeah,
stuff,
right. Once you do it though,
It's
it's all
definitely
yours though, so that's
yeah.
nice. Can I ask you what can people expect like when with like upcoming drops or like with the Samsung decks? I know we're kind of like talking around it, but can you give me like I wouldn't say like a specific date or like a time frame for when they can expect more decks and more drops from you? Just because this will
Yeah,
be like
so
posted up.
what I'm planning on doing is doing about I have 2 graphics already made and those are coming in and there'll be a 10 board stock. So like 5 and 5 of each
Okay.
graphic. And that'll be coming up pretty soon. Hopefully within the next couple weeks. I'm hoping before March ends.
Right.
And then after that, I'm gonna release 2 more graphics, and um, it will be the same thing: 10 boards, 5 and 5. So I'm just gonna like feel it out, see what people like as graphic wise, and then I'll restock from there.
Okay, kind
Um,
of get the base
but
graphics
yes,
down.
yeah, I want to like get the first, I guess, season you could call it, of graphics out,
Right.
and then yeah, we'll go from there, see what people like, and I think it'll be pretty cool once it's all finished.
For sure, man. No, that's like probably like that's like a really wise way to do it, and I'm sure people will appreciate the solid graphics that they can always count on, with the branding and how you're like looking to do it. But is
Yeah.
there any been any companies that have like reached out to you like with special interest with like the boards you've been making, or like maybe with collaborations or anything like that, or has it all kind of been like your own thing?
So yeah, there's collaborations in the works. I don't know. I could say definitely looking for one with Lakewood.
Oh, okay.
Um, Lakewood. I have something lined up with Bert from Five Luck, but that's way down in the future.
Okay, cool.
And
That's just
honestly,
something to look forward to.
yeah, that I can't wait for that one. Um, and then I don't have any others lined up, but I hope to collab with definitely some other people. Like I'd love to do a collab with Idol because we have similar colors and stuff going
Yeah,
on, similar
the
vibe.
feel, yeah.
Love to do one with him. Um, and I'm down for any company that wants to collab. So
You heard it here first,
it's
people.
just
Hit them
getting
up.
the connections on time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
hit me up. Fine.
Let them know. All right. Okay. So, when I was gonna say when you like, I ask people about their circle, and I already know that your team is kind of like your main go-to people for testing. Are there any other people that you're like, you know what? I always gotta hit them up with something new that I'm kind of thinking about because there's somebody that I always know can give me an honest opinion about something. Is there anybody in like your inner circle that you always send some test product to make sure it's some like the path you're going down is the right way?
Yeah, I love sending out boards to people. I don't like this is not it's not my full-time job. I just do this for just like the love of it. So
Yeah.
I send boards out to people all the time. Like Odyssey's board, he got that board just because he did a trick that I couldn't do on a fingerboard. So that was that. I hooked him up with a board.
Man, your
Handrew,
inbox is gonna be
I
destroyed after this, man. No.
yeah, it's alright, it's alright. Handrew, I gave a lot of products to. I appreciate his feedback. I just gave out a board to Bert from 5 Lux, so I'm waiting for him to receive that.
Oh, that's dope.
Um, honestly, I haven't done too much. Like, I'm still pretty new, like getting everything ready. I haven't had too many stocks, so
Yeah,
soon
you
though,
are
I
you
do
are on the
plan.
early stocks, so
Yeah, I do plan on giving out a ton more boards to people. So
hey, giveaways.
more
I know the
reviews to be
kids
seen.
love those, so keep an eye out, guys.
Yeah, no,
Giveaways coming
actually,
soon.
giveaway like in the next couple days.
Hey, giveaway in the
So,
next couple of days. I'll be there. Okay.
all right.
All right, appreciate it, man. Last question. I always end. I have to end my interviews with this because this is a question I always ask myself when I'm doing this, like, or when I started
Hmm.
this. What when you're done with fingerboarding? If you've heard an episode, you've probably heard this part before. But like when you're done with fingerboarding and Onfo is either like thriving and doing wonderful, or you've retired it, or whatever you decide to do with it. What would be like your ending influence, or what's your ending goal with Onfo fingerboards, and like your mark you'd like to leave in fingerboarding?
That's a tough one. I have thought about this question, but I'm still not even sure really. Uh,
I love
I
asking
think,
it.
yeah, I think I don't know. I kind of would just love for everyone to just have tried an Onfo and just know that I'm putting out quality that's equal to or better
Right.
than I'd put it against any company. To be honest, like I'm not trying to sound too cocky, but
No, yeah, stand behind your product.
I put a ton of work into them, and so I don't know. I kind of want to just be one of those like Bert from 5 Luck to just start. Almost sounds way too dramatic, but like the kind of like a revolution of just lowering prices down because it just gets ridiculous at some point.
Yeah.
So.
No, and that's kind of like how you innovate something. Like I'm not saying destroy the market for it, but
Yeah,
show it for what it really is, so then people can get involved that wouldn't normally do it. You know what I mean? Like maybe somebody won't think
yeah,
it's so stupid if they can actually afford it.
yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I will kind of I just like I hate that that kind of stereotype that the cheaper it is, the less money it is. You know.
Yes. Right.
Especially there's a lot of that in fingerboarding, but I think it's starting to come around. Especially like with brands like 5 Luck. I know I keep bringing him up, but he's a good friend and his boards are absolutely phenomenal, and
Right.
he's one of the people I just like strive to have quality of. So just be more open-minded about your purchases and don't only go to those few guys who charge outrageous prices.
Exactly, and that's kind of like why I ask guys like, I don't just ask every fingerboard company in the world if they'd come on my show. I kind of like the guys that I think are actually trying to innovate something, and that's one thing I said in an earlier episode is like there's gonna be plenty of companies, especially as it grows, and plenty of people that want to do like even what I do, you know what I mean, and like
Mhm.
be on the same level of like success, but like when you do something for like to like for growth of the thing as a whole, you can't really be replaced because it's you're the one innovating, you know what I mean, and I think that like companies like you that are pushing this idea that we can be like it can be taken serious and it can be cheaper and it can be something you can afford and it can be quality, not a
Yeah.
China product as they say, even though most of that stuff is pretty well pressed if unless you get like a bunk one, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's like somebody, the work is put is as long as the work is put in and it's quality product, shouldn't matter like the price tag on it as long as it's something like not ridiculous. I'm talking more towards
Yeah.
the down way, not like this should be $180 because I spent three
Yeah.
days on it. But but no, I like the community appreciates people like you that actually see it for what it really, like the realists that really do it for the love of it. And like I said, the community really appreciates you, Brandon, and like your company
Thank you.
and like the writers that you have. And I'm hoping I've messaged them I'm hoping to get a couple guys off your team to get on this show and talk a little bit about some of the edits and stuff they've been putting out. So I'm hoping you
That'd be
can give me a
dope.
good word, so I
Oh
can
yeah, I'll definitely tell
so I
him
can
to
get them
hit
on
you
here
up.
in the future.
Yeah,
But
for
this
sure.
is definitely your time to because I gotta wrap it up. But this is definitely your
Of
time to talk
course.
about any drops or any sort of giveaways or anything you got coming out, and then of course any shout outs. Go ahead and do that when you're ready.
All right. So graphic stock is definitely coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. I'm planning to get a new mold as well soon. Uh, also, I'm gonna be heading to Rendezvous. So,
Hey,
uh,
be there.
yeah, if anyone's looking, I'm probably gonna have some boards there. If anyone's looking to pick one up in person or just chat, feel free to come hang out. And shouts out to everyone on the team, everyone in Discord chat, Odyssey, Ben from Idol, all those people, um, Bert, Five Lock, yeah, that's about it. I think
For
that
sure.
wraps up the list.
Dude, thank you so much
Oh,
for
also
coming.
shout
Oh
out
my
to
god.
Brandon from Lakewood.
Oh yeah, Lakewood, of course. Got
Yeah,
to give them a shout out. Hopefully, we'll see something from you guys soon because that'll be a dope collab. But dude, thank you
yeah,
so much
it
for
will be.
coming on and answering these questions that I just randomly throw at you
Of
about your
course.
fingerboard company,
Thanks for
dude.
having me.
Dude, thank you so
This is
much.
awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and like hang up and then close the show out. But dude, thank you so much, and hopefully I can get you back on here soon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, have a
Thanks
good
again for
one.
having me, man.
All right, peace.
You too, bro.
Alrighty, guys, that is another one in the books. Your boy getting the information you need directly to your face. Fingerboarding. We had Brandon from Onfo coming in, showing us love, talking about his wonderful boards with the wonderful colorways. If you need to know where you can get his boards, you can go on Instagram at onfo_FB. That is at symbol ONFO_FB. In there, he's got all the links to his writers on his team, the link to his website, which is just onfofb.com. And then you can pick up one of his boards, check his new drops, look out for those giveaways, all that good stuff. The goodies, boys, the goodies. Also, this will be posted later on the YouTube page for the Sesh. You can look it up just by typing in Steve Harkins, the Sesh, and then probably whatever brand you want because I'm getting interviews, always new interviews coming weekly. So check those out. Check the old interviews out. Get involved. Once again, thank you so much, Brandon, dude. That's legit. This week, like I said, later on, we got Ben from ATX Ramps coming in, and then we got Idol Fingerboards coming in. I know we got some other people. I'm waiting on a couple more people to give me an okay, but I want to get some more writers, like I said earlier in the show, so we can get them involved and get some more trick tips and stuff. But I wanted to wrap up on the idea that any companies that would like to come on the show and talk to me, feel free to message me or have someone reach out to me and like with information to reach out to you with. Also, if you just want to advertise, maybe you don't want to do a full segment on the show or a full interview, we do allow people to, basically advertise, and it's free. Just like sending that you got like a drop coming in or a stock. And at the beginning of the show, I can shout it out and let people know where they can get it and stuff like that. Just so we have more fingerboarding stuff involved. Again, thank you to CD Player Zero for the $10 donation, dude. What the hell, man? Thank you for keeping the show alive, bro. There's not even a message. You just donated it. That was so dope. I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you a lot, dude. Killing it, dude. You're killing it, man. You're keeping us going here. But like I said, everybody, this is kind of like a labor of love. This is something I do on my own time. Like I said, this page is actually used for my video game streaming, but certain days of the week, of course, I transitioned it over to The Sesh with Stevie Harkins FB, where we just talk about fingerboarding and fingerboarding, culture and companies and stuff like that. I wanted to just, I know I've said it, I want to wrap up, but I want to wrap up by saying thank you to everybody that's come by, everyone that's followed all the past interviews, everybody that supports the channel. CD Player, I got to give you like a shout out or something because you did not have to donate that type of money to the stream, but you are, and it's much appreciated so we can keep it going, get some more people on here, get some more product in here to talk about, stuff like that, man, So with that being said, I'm actually not going to kill the stream. I'm just going to transition over to the, because I have not streamed yet my video game stream. So I'm going to do a quick 2 or 3 hour stream on that. We'll probably be playing some Fortnite or something like that. So if you're interested, go ahead and hang out. But like I said, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at StevieHarkinsFB if you're looking for my fingerboarding Instagram. If you're looking for my personal one, it's at StevieHarkinsCK. If you're watching this live on or pre-recorded on YouTube, you can find the live recordings by following, of course, the Instagram page and then coming to twitch.tv/StevieHarkinsCK to watch the live interviews, ask questions, and, of course, like pretty much just interact with the interview. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I will let you guys know when the next one's coming up, the next interview, and I'll catch you later. Peace.